Hi guys, welcome to ACE Self-Defense, another online class. This time I'm going to do something a little bit different. Most of my videos are full-length classes, martial art type self-defense classes, different videos. There's self-defense techniques, there's kicks, there's punches, there's blocks, there's patterns, etc. But what I haven't actually done is just literally just a self-defense session, which I sometimes do deliver. Now, as you can see, I'm not in my karate or martial arts kit, I'm just in my normal regular clothes. Because when we're talking about self-defense, if you're out on the street, you're not going to be in your martial arts suit, you're not going to be warmed up, you're not going to be prepared to do this and that. You're just going to be in the street or in a bar or, I don't know, in your place of work even. You're not going to necessarily be warmed up and ready in your karate suit. So when we're talking about self-defense, and when I do self-defense sessions, maybe one-offs or in schools, we talk about self-defense as it is in its raw form. That is literally defending yourself, the people that you love, your family, or your possessions. And for that, you don't need to do martial arts. Martial arts is just one type of self-defense, and I do teach martial arts based classes, fitness classes. That's what, really they're for fitness, they're to keep fit, they're to have fun. But when we're talking about self-defense, I do deliver classes that aren't anything to do with martial arts. Needless to say that today we'll be doing some techniques. Now, I was going to do a session on punches in this series, 2018 series. I can't believe it's September already. We're almost through with the year, and we've not even finished the series. So I hope you can have a look at those videos for this year's series. And so this is number 5 of 6. So today I was going to do punches, but I thought I'll do something a little bit different. We're just going to do basic self-defense. We're not actually going to do much practical. It's going to be a lot of theory. It's going to be me basically sitting here talking and explaining. But what that will do is hopefully get into your mindset that really self-defense is not about anything physical. It's about your attitude, a lot of common sense, and it comes from your attitude mainly. And self-defense also can be described as self-protection, protecting yourself. And you hear the phrase that prevention is better than the cure. Well, it's the same in self-defense. Prevent yourself from getting into a situation where you may be attacked. Obviously there's certain situations that, if you're in a club or whatever, there's nothing you can do about it, but sometimes there is. So prevention is better than the cure, and the cure is obviously to what I teach, fighting. Fighting is the last resort. The first resort is not to get into the situation in the first place. And if you do, the next thing that I teach and I drill into the people that I teach is that you run away, you get out of the situation, you take yourself away from the situation. Your fighting is the last resort, okay? So, best weapon in self-defense, apart from your mind, is your voice. Your voice is your best weapon, okay? So if you're ever in a situation where you feel threatened, you feel vulnerable, you tell that person, if you're getting approached, if you're not comfortable with situations, that if they're grabbing you, if they're asking you for something inappropriate, no, okay, be stern, be confident, be assertive, no, or don't do that, stop that, things like that. Have a strong voice, even if you don't feel strong or confident. Just having it out there, just saying, no, stop, no, I'm not comfortable with this, no. It just makes that person maybe think twice, maybe think, okay, I'm not going to mess with this person as well. I teach that if you're acting, shy, or if you're walking around with your head down, your hands in your pockets, you look like a victim. Don't look like the victim. Okay, walk strong. Make sure you're making eye contact with people. If somebody comes up to you that's obviously going to talk to you or approach you, make eye contact with them. Okay, attackers do not want to be recognised. If you're walking down, around with your head down and you get attacked, you're not going to see that person, you've got less chance of you describing them later to the police or whatever. So make eye contact with somebody who, you're not sure. Make sure you look them straight in the eye and think, what do you want? Like, not trying to say that you should be wary of everybody. People will come up and ask you for the time, for directions, and that's fine. I'm not saying to refuse that, but it's just certain certain things like, if they then carry on, say, oh, have you got this, or, and they, if you're being timid and that, you're going to be a victim. And it's like in the wild when you see a lion chasing a herd, prey. They're going to go for the weakest one, they're going to go for the slowest one, they're going to go for the easy target. So don't be the easy target, yeah? Don't advertise your phone, don't have it out, don't be showing it off, because, people will steal it. Same with your money, obviously. It's things that, to me is common sense, but to some people they might, be advertising an expensive jewellery or whatever. Just be aware of that. Don't go anywhere on your own, male or female, if you don't have to. Why put yourself at risk, even in the daytime? Don't go, if you can go with someone, if you can have someone with you, go with someone. If you have to be alone, don't go out at night, just things like this, simple things. Don't go down dark alleys. Why make things difficult for yourself? Go a longer way round, go where there's lighting, go where there's people. Okay, talking about your voice then as being your best weapon. When we're doing self-defense techniques and grabs, and we're getting out of grabs, the first thing that I will say to people is to do a distraction technique. So that could be either a stomp to the foot if you're being grabbed, or you could kick to the groin if you're close to that person, the person close to you, knee to the groin, and shout at the same time. So don't just shout help, help, and then kick because it's too late. You need to do them both at the same time. You need to use that as, because it's an element of surprise. If someone's grabbing you, here, got gun to the head, anything, knife, it's a distraction technique. It's a kick, it's a strike, and a shout. Hey! Okay, and that in itself will, number one, probably make them jump, gives you that split second to then lead on to the next self-defense technique, get away, or also alert people around that you're in danger. And also that person might think, well, someone's heard that shout, I'm going to think twice now about attacking this person, I'm going to leave it. But whatever you're asked for, give me your wallet, give me your phone, give them to them. You can replace these things. Okay, you might be poor. I'm poor, but you can replace them. You cannot be replaced. Okay, it's not worth your life. It's not worth getting hurt for a possession. And we talk about self-defense is used to protect your possessions, but you've got to sometimes self-defense is giving give them what they want. You've got to judge what's more important, my life or my possessions. So it's just things to think about. And this is things that I tell people that have come for an actual self-defense session and not a martial arts based self-defense session. As I said before, martial arts are great for self-defense. If you want to learn self-defense, martial arts, there's different ones. Any one is good. It's better than nothing. So you'll learn how to kick and block and stuff like that. But also you can have self-defense where you don't need to be too fit. I mean, not everybody is fit. There's people, that can't move around, and yet, they need to learn how to defend themselves. So I'm going to talk about chair defense as well soon, because there's some people that can't, that when we talk about self-defense and being grabbed or being, choked, whatever, it's usually from a standing position. But obviously, some people can't stand, and these things might happen to them as they're sitting, which we'll go through in a second. There's one more thing about self-defense that I want to talk about before we move on to actually doing something, and that is so after you've used your voice as a distraction technique, it's something that I always teach first, is use your voice. So be assertive, okay, but also the way to avoid the prevention better than the cure is to be approachable, be nice to people. So if I'm nice to you, then more times than not you're going to be nice to me. Okay, so if I meet a stranger, be nice, hi, nice to meet you, how's it going, how are you, and just simple things like this will help you to not get into situations. Another thing as well before we go on to the actual physical side is use, you have weapons, okay? Your hands and feet are weapons, fine, but anything else can be a weapon. Your keys, if you fear for your life, use things as weapons. And I'm not talking about things that are on you like your keys. Some people wouldn't think about using the phone because they wouldn't want to damage the phone. But your phone is a weapon. It's a hard, solid object. Use that. Get them in the neck. Keys. I know it sounds gruesome, but in the eye. They're going to leave you alone if you get stabbed with a key in your eye. But also just think about space. Okay, the first lesson that I teach in martial arts is footwork. Footwork is the basis for a lot of things. If you don't get that right, then there's no point in learning how to block, kick or punch. So make sure that you're a safe distance away from someone. If someone's coming to ask you the time, fine. If they get a bit too close, you're thinking, okay, so this is obvious common sense stuff, but you're going to back away, aren't you? Just make sure that, okay, if they are going to attack me, then I'm going to see them coming towards me. I'm going to make sure that I'm this distance away so that, if they do throw a punch from here or a kick from here, I'm not going to get hurt. Use things like bins or lampposts. This is if you're feeling threatened, or obviously not if you're having a general conversation with a stranger, but if you're feeling really threatened, put some distance between you and that person and use obstacles. So a bin, get something in between you so that they can't literally come towards you. A parked car, manoeuvre yourself, get around so that you have something in between you and the person. There's something in between, yeah? So, lampposts are good. Obviously they can't walk through lampposts, they can't walk through parked cars, and it just gives you space and time to think and act accordingly. Alright, so this is just basic stuff, just in general, use your surroundings. Don't, obviously, if you're backing up, make sure there's no wall behind you. I know it sounds daft, but you can't run away if you're backed in and you're closed in by walls, so try and give yourself as much space as you can for a potential situation so that you can run away. Or if you do feel threatened, try and get an obstacle in between you, and it can be there's trees, anything. Just give yourself some time and space away from your attacker, and think about weapons. Always be thinking about weapons. I know it's I like to think, this would make a good weapon, but you've got to have it in your mind. A lot of people might have those personal alarms. Brilliant, but the only problem with them is they're annoying, and if they go off accidentally, or even if they don't go off accidentally, yes, some people might look, but when people hear an alarm nowadays, even a car alarm or a house alarm, people are immune to it and they don't react as they should. But if people hear someone say, "Hey! No!" they're going to react better to that than they would an alarm. So alarms are good, but you don't need an alarm. As long as you've got your voice, you're fine. Your voice is your best weapon. Some people also, it was not so much now, but years ago, the spray, fine. I wouldn't advise having that kind of spray. That pepper spray, that's what it's called. It's if it's a windy day, that can backfire on you. You've got to actually literally go in your bag to get it out, and that all this takes time. Sure, if you have time and you can use that, great, but it's just something that I wouldn't recommend people having. There's other things that you can use as weapons, but your voice is definitely your best weapon. And obviously, if you do want to use your hand, is a good weapon in itself. So really, if you want to learn how to use your hand as a weapon, then take a martial arts class, basically. Alright, so I'm going to try and turn this around because I need some space. I don't know if this is going to be too bright. My light bulb in my kitchen is a bit bright, so we'll try it. So, I don't know if that's going to be too bright. Hopefully, it's not too bad for you. So like I said, I'm in normal clothing. I'm a Star Trek fan, so yeah, I've just got this on today. So we should be able to determine whether or not we're going to be attacked. Sometimes we're not, and sometimes there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. You're going to get attacked. We try not to fall. If we're on the floor, we're very vulnerable. There's techniques that I teach for getting up. Ground fighting, falling. There's all different types of classes that you can see on the website. Not in particular on the YouTube channel, but they're all there, and I'm sure that you can find other people's videos and stuff. But yeah, so we've listened to everything. Yeah, we're in, we're out, we're wherever, and we feel vulnerable. Okay, so yeah, we get approached. We think someone's going to hit us, and it's like, no, get away. Okay, loud. Make sure that you're clear. You're not interested in a fight. You might think that you're gonna, you can beat this person. This person might be, right, then come on then, try if you want. No, this is not how we think. We don't want to fight anybody, whether we think we can win or not, okay? It doesn't matter, we try and get away. So it's just the avoidance of conflict. This is what I'm trying to teach. And if you do get into conflict, you do get grabbed, then watch one of the videos on self-defense. But I just want to do a couple of things that I don't usually do on the videos, and that's from vulnerable positions. So for maybe vulnerable people in wheelchairs that will be sat down. So I'm just going to pause this a second and go and grab my son. Just a quick note actually before he comes, he's in the middle of a game. I just want to talk about, because a lot of people say when you're defending yourself that, they've had the experience of when they're defending themselves, they can actually get into trouble for assault for that person, and I'm like, yeah, it's a bit of a grey area. But in reality, if it's self-defense, then you should be able to get with most stuff. It's whether you take it from self-defense to going that little step far. And what I mean by that is, if your life is in danger, if you really think that you are going to be killed by someone, then you have the right to, obviously, and your body will actually, you want to survive, so you can literally do anything, not anything, but if that person dies from a result of you defending yourself, then it's going to be difficult in a court to prove, but you could argue that, yeah, you thought he was going to die, and as long as that's a reasonable explanation as to what happened, and then, you know, if you do really injure this person or kill this person, then you should be fine. But obviously if somebody's just, I don't know, just attacking you, it's difficult to determine the different levels of violence, but as long as you don't use too much force, okay, you won't get into trouble. And it's something that, yeah, people worry about, but they shouldn't really worry about it, because at the end of the day, you're trying to protect yourself. Someone's stealing from you, stealing some possession, stealing from someone that you love, or yourself. You have the right to defend yourself. Just do not use too much force. So if someone's coming for you, and they say, give me your phone, give me your wallet, you give them that, they might back off, and then you then go after them, and you have a weapon, and then you stab them in the eye, and they die. Okay, that would be unreasonable, because they've got what they need, and they've kind of left you, so you don't need to do anything, you know, that's fine. So that would be unreasonable. That's just a stupid example, but it's just something to consider. Right, somebody sat down like I am, sat in a chair, grabbed on the shoulder. A lot of these techniques, they're not set in stone, so you can vary and you can practice with hopefully someone that you trust and care about. But some of these grabbing and self-defense techniques are same as when you're standing. So if you do need a complete self-defense physical session, then go and have a look at one of my videos. I think one of the first in this series is self-defense and wrist grabs and wrist locks. So have a look at that one, because some of these are similar. So grab on the shoulder. So distraction technique here. I can't stamp, I can't really kick. I'm at a good height to elbow here, so what I would do is give a sharp elbow, hey! Okay, and hopefully I can get that person off me. Now, the thing is, when if you are literally in a wheelchair, you won't be able to run away. So what you'd have to do then is you'd have to disable this person enough so that you could get away, or call for help while that person is still disabled. So this is a little bit, the first part of these is what you would do, but then the rest of it would be a little bit advanced, because it would involve takedowns and wrist locks, which we can't go into here, but that'll be a different session. So one more time, grab, distraction, hey! If that doesn't work, we're going to take the same arm all the way around, back, and do an arm lock. And it's a simple technique. Just do it again, Molly, thank you. So grab on tight, so for whatever reason, so it's, hey! Arm comes all the way up, round, and good, arm lock. So that breaks the arm. If you carry on with that, it's going to break the arm, they're going to fall. If I can't walk, I will have enough time to get away because they'll be in pain. Let's do from behind, Marley. So grab me, we'll do one arm first. Right. So maybe scruff, yeah, maybe it's a choke, maybe it's a full choke, yeah? Yeah. Okay, yeah, in fact let's go with a full choke, because this is just a simple, okay, I've got distraction, hey! And I'm grabbing the hand and I'm just twisting off. And when I'm twisting off, it's just a wrist lock, that's all it is. So, like I say, watch a session on self-defense and wrist locks and then apply it to when you sat down, and have someone come and practice you and practice what is comfortable. But just do another one, just do a full, yeah. So again, distraction technique, might not be able to shout as much here. Hey! And from there, what I would do is, because I've got my hands free, so use what weapons you have. I have my hands. If I have any weapons like keys or anything hard, it will be here. If not, what I first need to do is I need to breathe. And from here, what I would do, I'm in a good position to do a throw, which I'm not going to do because I haven't got the space and I haven't got the mats on the floor. But it's literally, I'll show you without Marley actually. So without Marley, I'm here. I'm here. So they're gonna, if they don't let go, they're gonna go with you and they're gonna flip and go over. So it's just a case of controlling that arm. You can actually hold on to them, so even if they did want to let go, they ain't going nowhere. And it's just using the centre of gravity. So here, and what I'm trying to do is get my shoulder onto the floor. I'm not going to get it on the floor, but that's my aim, and that would make that person, yeah, basically flip. You do it fast enough, so it's distraction. Hey, control, and here. And thank you, Molly, for now. In fact, that's it. Cheers.
Okay.
There's again lessons on throws, takedowns. They're all sometimes of what needed for self-defense, but the problem is they're a little bit advanced, so I don't have them on the YouTube channel. I only have beginners and basic videos on the YouTube channel, so if you want to see videos of takedowns and throws, then you have to go on the website and become a member, or look at, I'm sure there's plenty of other videos on YouTube, people showing you takedowns and throws, but sometimes, in certain situations, that's all you can do. Okay, you can only do what you can do. You can only work with what you can work with, can't you? So, that was just a few examples of sitting down self-defense. But like I say, people that aren't able to run away as quickly, they have to kind of follow through on things so that they're able to create the time for them to get away. Okay, and again, it is a little bit advanced. Your takedowns and your wrist locks and your holds and things. These are things that they're not for beginners. Basically, you've got to learn certain things before you go on to those. So I do best as I can on the channel with the beginner videos. So I do some intermediate stuff, especially just kicks and punches, just simple stuff like that. But yeah, other stuff a little bit more advanced. So I'll leave that to the website and to people that come to class. It's better to teach in person, stuff like this as well. It's not easy to show some stuff on video, even though I do try, because I do understand that not everyone can get to a self-defense class, and this is my struggle, because I'm trying to reach those people that can't get out to a class. Yet there are some things that I just can't teach on video. So there you go. So I've done all talking on this video, hardly any practical, which again, when I go to a school or do a one-off self-defense, it is mainly talking. There's some things that you can describe. You can't really describe what I've just done there. It has to be shown. But and there's other kinds of people will attack you from the front from a chair. But the techniques are kind of similar to standing. So have a look at a standing video on my channel. Last thing I'm going to say about self-defense, which I learned quite recently, is when we're using self-defense, okay, your life can be in danger, or more often than not, it might not be. You might just be getting attacked because somebody wants something from you. You're not really, it's very rare that you're going to get attacked and killed from somebody that you don't know. Alright, it's unfortunate but most people get killed by people they know. It's horrible to think about, but yeah. So, but we don't know that, we don't know what a person's intention is unless they make it clear. Alright, we might want to stop getting raped, which is, that's an important thing, or theft, we want to stop being mugged, and also our life. But there's certain degrees of what you would need your self-defense for. A lot of what I practice, Marley, I need you again, sorry, come here! Sorry. I just want to demonstrate one point, and that is, when we do self-defense techniques, like what I've just done with the grab, they're all fine and good to practice in a martial arts class or in a self-defense class, but what we really want to do, if our life is in danger, we want to hurt that person as much as we possibly can so we can get away and get out of being in danger. So if I'm grabbed or if I'm choked, if I'm standing or sitting and the person is in front of me and choking me, okay, what I want to do, I've got my hands free. So really, let me just show you this. Let me just go and get my son back one second. Right, sorry about this. Is it going again? Yeah, I didn't really have much of a. I'm not very good at planning my videos, so I didn't really have a plan. But this is how it's going. So I'm grabbed, or double lapel grab, or double choke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what I would teach in a martial arts based class is there's lots of different things we can do to get out of this. But in a self-defense situation, the best thing to do, if you are being grabbed, double Marley, and choked. Okay, I've got my two hands free, so I'm going to use these as weapons. I've done my distraction. I might not be able to shout because I'm getting choked, really choked here. So if you're getting choked and throttled, okay, you've got glasses on, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my hands, I'm going to go smash in the ears, and I'm going to push my thumbs into your eyes, yeah? And I'm going to put my thumbs where your eyes are, and your eyes are going to come out. That's something that we can't practice. That's something that, you know, we can practice what I've just done by the placing of the hands, but in real life that is what you should be doing. You shouldn't be doing, like, grab me here again. So what I teach is, okay, we can go upwards, bridge hand, downwards hammer fist, you know, doing all this. This is fine and good for martial arts, and this is good for if you're grading and you need to prove getting out of self-defense. But if I'm being choked, that's going to go out the window, and I'm just going to smash my hands to the ears. If that doesn't work, it's an eye gouge, and it's basically as simple as that. Thank you, Molly. You can go. So my point is, there's lots of different self-defense techniques, different martial arts teach different variations, and they're all brilliant. You know, they all are designed to work. But when your life is being threatened, you know, you've got to go to the. You've got to be prepared to, you know, go for the eyes. So think about your weapons, okay, keys, phone, anything hard, anything solid, and think about going for eyes, okay? Poking, throat, the neck's a good target. If you're being attacked, hit the same place lots of times. Better to hit the same place a lot of times than hitting different places once. Alright, so just something to think about, yeah? But yeah, in any situation, go for the eye gouge. Yeah, it might sound a bit, but if you stick your thumbs in someone's eyes and their eyes might come out, then you've got away. You've defended yourself. But it's just something that we can't, you know, teach. We can't practice that. We can practice placing the hands, but in reality, and it's the same with chokes as well. If you're defending yourself, you need to choke someone. You've got to be very careful because they could die from that. You know, you can get someone to choke. It's not about them dying from not breathing. It's about them dying from you cutting off the blood supply to these main arteries. So there's a way of doing a choke to someone, and you know your arm's here and you're pressing up here. You've got your other arm. You know, you can be pushing their head forward into the choke. And if you do it properly, you can snap the neck and everything and dislocate the head, you know, take the head from the neck and you can kill them. But you know, so there's certain things that you can do to end their life to help to prevent yours. And it's just something to think about. Self-defense, it's a big area and it's always something new to learn, okay? So that's it. I'm not going to do anything else today. I just wanted to talk through some self-defense principles, and just to show you that, okay, I have a self-defense channel and it's 99.9% martial arts videos. This is going to be the one video that's not martial arts based. I might do some more of these in future, because I'm always learning stuff still, and whatever I learn I try and pass on. So yeah, it's just to show you guys that you don't have to know a lot of martial arts or anything to be knowledgeable on self-defense. It's just there are self-defense classes out there. There's loads of people like me that do self-defense classes that don't do any training or martial arts or warm-up or fitness. It's just literally self-defense, and it will talk you through stuff. They'll do a few demonstrations. They might do some knife ones and gun ones and whatnot, and other variations. But yeah, I hope you've learned something from this. If not, give us a question, you know, and if I can answer it and help you, then I will do, and if I can't, I will find out the answer to the question myself, and then I will answer the question, you know, because it's, like I say, I'm learning still all the time, and I'm changing and developing my lessons through what I'm learning, and hopefully passing it on to you to ultimately keep people safe. And if I help one person, then that's brilliant. So hopefully you've learned, and yeah, my next video, the last one in the series for this year, hopefully I will get it out before the end of the year, will be the hand weapons. So it'll be basically all the hand weapons that I know. I'll try and go through every single type of hand technique in this last video. So I'm sorry, I know you've been waiting for videos for ages. I've been asked for some videos. I'm just extremely busy, but I'll try and put out one as soon as I can. And thank you for watching. Take care. Stay safe.